everyone, welcome back to CollegeVine's weekly Q&A. I'm Katie, and every week I spend some time answering questions that you've submitted to us via YouTube and our website in order to help you get a better understanding of a wide variety of admissions topics. If you're applying to college soon, visit us at app.collegevine.com to sign up for an account at CollegeVine. We're a free guidance resource that calculates your chances of getting into specific schools and offers free profile recommendations, essay guidance, and much more. Check us out once again at app.collegevine.com to learn more about the services we provide. If you'd like to submit a question for us to answer in a future Q&A, leave that question for us in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you're one of the first to see when we release our latest Q&A or any of our other helpful videos on test prep and the college admissions process. Let's dive into today's questions. Our first question of this week came from Mary. Mary wrote in to ask if you got a good score on the SAT, say 1550, but a not so great score on the SAT essay, 15. Is it worth retaking the SAT to try and increase your essay score specifically? Great question. We receive a ton of questions about retaking the SAT, but it's less often that we hear specifically about the essay. The essay is still a fairly new section of the SAT, and the way that it's used by college admissions committees can be somewhat nuanced. Here's what you need to know to weigh your options in retaking based on your essay score. First of all, as you probably already realized, the SAT essay is actually an optional section of the SAT, so you're not required to take it, and many colleges don't even require that you submit an SAT essay score. But before you agonize over your choice too much, be sure that you know the essay policy at the colleges that you are specifically applying to. If none of those colleges require the SAT essay section, your decision should be pretty straightforward. A weaker essay score is unlikely to be used against you in the case that none of the schools are even formally evaluating the essay score. The other thing you'll need to consider is how the colleges on your list consider SAT scores in general. Some colleges only consider the highest composite score received in a single setting. Other colleges use a process called superscoring. Superscoring is a catch-all term for whenever colleges take the best section or test scores from multiple sittings on the SAT. This gives you a higher score than you may have possibly earned if you were performing at your peak on all test sections on a single day. So here's an example. If you take the SAT twice, and the first time you got a 650 on math and a 720 on evidence-based reading and writing, and the second time you took the SAT, you got a 680 on math and a 690 on evidence-based reading and writing, colleges who superscore are going to use your 680 math score and your 720 BRW score to create a new, higher composite score than you got on any one of those single test days. Generally, the essay score is not considered in the process of superscoring, but it's a good indicator that if you did retake the SAT, a college would look at your single highest essay score rather than the essay score that came on the same day as your highest composite score. Again, mostly you need to check the specific scoring system used at the colleges that you are applying to, or check out our blog post, Which Colleges Superscore the SAT, which is linked in the comments below this video. That should help you get a start on which colleges take up that practice. Finally, keep in mind that the SAT essay is generally given only a small amount of weight compared to your other SAT scores, your grades, and your extracurriculars. If you've shown strong writing skills in other areas, such as through your college essay, your AP exams, or grades, it's unlikely that the single average score on the SAT essay would be a deciding factor on your application. While retaking the SAT to improve your essay is unlikely to hurt your overall profile, it could ultimately cause more anxiety and take up more of your mental load than it's really worth in the admissions process. Our second question today came from someone who has the username Speedster145. This person wrote in to ask, how do you list political or religious activities in the activity section of the Common Application? Thanks for writing in, Speedster145. To get started, be sure to review our video, How to Fill Out the Common App Activity section, which is linked below this video. That video will tell you all the info you need to know about how to choose which activities should go in this section and how to fill it out properly to highlight the ones that are most impressive. But of course, you're asking specifically about political or religious activities, so let's take a closer look at those types of activities in context. Before you decide to include anything related to politics or religion on your application, you should always consider the bigger picture of how these interests and pursuits will fit in with the rest of your application. Sometimes, even more importantly, you'll also want to look at how these activities mesh with the values of the schools that you're sending off your applications to. For example, if you have been deeply involved with a political group that tends to be pretty conservative, you may want to rethink including this on your application to extremely liberal colleges, for example, Oberlin or Mount Holyoke. While that doesn't mean that your views aren't valid or that your involvement isn't important, they are, and it is. It does mean that this particular activity might not be an asset to you on the application because of the type of applicants that the admissions committee typically seeks out to fill their class. Religion can also be a bit of a divisive issue if you're applying to religious schools. If you're applying to a religiously affiliated school and have actively participated in church activities under the same religion, by all means, you should definitely include those on your application. They'll probably help your case. If the reverse is true, that is, you have been actively involved with a church whose values are significantly different than the one that the school is aligned with, you might want to think twice about including those on your application. And in fact, you might want to consider how important this element of your identity is, and if you'll be comfortable at a school where the majority of students believe something else than you believe. That should always be a consideration as you build your college list. Religion and politics are two topics that you are right to consider twice before including them on your application. Overall, if they mesh with the values of the colleges you're applying to, you should and can go ahead and include them in the activities section of your Common App in the same way as you would with any other activity. Once again, reference that other video on that formatting. If the values of the schools you're applying to don't quite line up with those that you've pursued, it may be best to leave politics and religion off your application completely, or consider your application to that school at all. Our final question today comes from Emma, who wants to know what some of the best majors are for someone who wants to be a lawyer. Well, thanks for writing in, Emma, and great job thinking ahead to your career ambitions. Law is, of course, a very solid career choice with great earning potential and a lot of variety to offer something for everyone across many different specialties, from patent law to family law, from working in a corporate law office to working for the government, really everything in between. Unlike medicine, though, where there's a prescribed pre-medicine track, there's really no required coursework for a future lawyer. While many future lawyers do major in areas like political science, history, or economics, you can major in truly whatever you're most interested in learning about in college, as long as that process is building your analytical and critical thinking skills along the way. Those are the skills that are core to being a lawyer. Ideally, your undergrad major will be something related to a future specialty, but really that doesn't have to be the case as long as you're building your narrative towards law through that major. Since you can apply to law school with any major, your best bet is just to study what you want while developing the skills that will benefit you in law school and beyond. Once again, those skills include critical thinking, a really strong writing ability, research, analytical skills, and more of those related kind of high-level thinking skills. Make sure you're taking a wide range of courses where you can. So for instance, if you major in a STEM field, you might want to take some courses that require more readings and papers rather than just problem sets and lab reports. No matter your major, there are three main factors that will play into your eventual law school applications: your GPA, your LSAT score, or in some cases your GRE score, and your extracurricular activities. Much like undergraduate applications, GPA and test scores help schools understand your academic ability in context of your school and on a national scale, while your extracurriculars demonstrate where your interests and passions truly lie. Whatever you major in, work hard to perform as well as you can in class, maximizing your GPA to help you stand out as academically able. That'll be one of the most important things you can do in college to help you get into law school. We hope that this helps with your future career ambitions in the law, Emma, and best of luck in choosing a major that you really enjoy. So with those three questions, we are wrapped up for our Q&A for this week. Thanks to the three of you who submitted, and hopefully those answers were helpful not only to you, but also to everyone watching. If you have a question that you want us to answer in a future Q&A, remember that you can drop that question in the comments below this video to potentially be featured in our next video. See you soon for our next Q&A.